Jessica Dello Russo.
Hi. Thank you. I did write it down so I can be brief because I think the Bruins have already started. I'm a third generation North Ender. I'm currently raising a member of generation number 4, who's my son Ezio, Nicola Salimbeni. Some of you might have seen him around. He just got his first communion, just received his first communion last Saturday, along with about 42 other North End children. I still have 4 generations of my family in the North End, and actually within a 2-block radius. So on a daily basis, I'm in contact with all of them. I actually live in one of my family's buildings, along with my parents, my son, and some of my younger siblings. It sounds very normal to us. People perhaps outside the neighborhood might find it odd, but here, it's how I was raised, always with my grandparents living with us nearby. So I really cherish having that still, those close family ties. My family has a long history of being involved in civic affairs in this area, and also the West End, the old West End where my mother's from. If any of these names make sense, my maternal grandfather worked for Martin Mamazni, who was a ward boss of Ward 8 in the old West End. And my paternal grandmother, Emily Parisi Dello Russo, worked for a long time for Mr. Harvey of the old North End Union. And subsequently, my mother she was on the board of directors for the North End Union, the North Bennett Street School, and also later on when the Nazaro Center opened, also there. So I grew up with my mother raising 5 children, but often away at night for meetings, which would make me feel a little bit better about leaving my own son. And my uncle, my mother's brother, just stepped down as president of the West End Civic Association. So I have a lot of it perhaps in my blood, and also, it interests me as a resident here, a lifelong resident. I've been exposed since childhood to the multi-ethnic history of the North End, and I still share, I guess, my study and understanding of history often with working as a tour guide for an international travel company. I do this on an occasional basis, but it's worked as a full-time mother. And I also recently have been able to contribute to the North End Historical Society Journal, and also interviewed time after time for various Italian and US media outlets, not always on the North End, sometimes on Boston history in general. But it's an interest of mine, and I'm also a trained academic historian. Io parlo molto bene l'italiano, parlo sempre, quasi sempre, con la gente per strada, e ho insegnato per diversi anni presso la scuola di italiano a St. John's, scuola di sabato. I taught for a number of years at the Italian Saturday School for Children at St. John's. And currently, because all of this is nice, but how does it relate to Munich? It really does, because since 2007, since really my son was born, I've been involved with the local Mothers Association. And it's not an official association with status in any other way, but it really is nearly 1,000 members strong at this point, and I've worked as its co-moderator since 2007. So I've been deeply involved, but not necessarily at night at meetings, because my son's been too young. So I think he's ready now as he's older, and I think I'm ready too, because I really feel like this is a living and very dynamic area, and I think it's a really unique place to settle, to live and work. And my family's been doing that for over a century. So thank you very much, and I hope for this opportunity.